So I'm here with Phoebe, and we've just had a couple of amazing days at a retreat in Bellingen, and just wanted to ask Phoebe to share a bit of the process that she's gone through, and maybe just some of the insights she's had as a result of the 2 days here with me. And so, do you want to? Who are you, Phoebe?
Well, now I know. So I'm Phoebe. It's Phoebe Maroulis, and I am here under the guise of. You can edit this, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I am passionate about creating wholeness in myself and in my communities and in those around me, and identifying what it is that makes something whole, and how to fill the gaps, identify and fill the gaps in their wholeness.
Yep, fantastic. So what are some of the barriers that you had to overcome for yourself in even getting to a 2-day retreat like this?
It's a really hard one because it's almost chicken or the egg. Had this burning, this sort of spark within me, knowing that there is more and that there's this greater potential. But for all the reasons that I was finding it difficult to work out what that was, were all the things that held me back in taking the step to come to a weekend like this. So it was just finally that little voice had squeaked at the right volume and the planets aligned.
Yep. Cool. They really did align too, didn't they? It
They
was
did.
all just fell into place perfectly.
Perfectly.
So what, I guess, you really probably did you come with a perspective on what you'd walk away with?
No, not in a sort of spelt out way.
Yep.
I just knew that I would be different.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
what were the breakthrough moments then for you in over the 2-day period where we were working very intensively one-on-one, so it was all about you, and that's quite intense for lots of people, but it means you get to have those unique breakthroughs. So were there any moments where you just went, oh yeah, now I get it?
There were a lot, and I had my ideas book and my journal, which I kept referring to, and as I read through that, I was thinking, I read a book that asked me that question. I've already answered this question.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realised that, yes, I'd already answered that question, or I'd been through that process, but I had no one to then challenge me on it, or call me on it, or say, is that what you really think? So then as I went back and I reviewed some of those questions, like what is your greatest fear? It's easy to answer that superficially.
Yes.
But it takes an experience like this of having someone who can read your body language and can sort of note your hesitation as you write it, or kind of fill the gap to get you over that blockage that it's irreplaceable.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you can't get any other way. You can't get sitting in a room on your own just journaling or notebooking.
No, or if you do, by some miracle, it takes a lot longer.
Yeah.
But also you come back, if there's a chink of self-doubt,
Yes.
you come back, and so it's this self-perpetuating downward spiral.
Yep.
So you sort of know, and then you start fearing and doubting, and then that takes hold. Whereas these last couple of days, every time I've been scared, it's like, it's okay. Here we go.
Yep.
Take a deep breath. I can actually feel myself, over the weekend. Yeah. It would be interesting to put a monitor on my breathing.
Yes. Deep breaths in. Yep. Yeah, the fear stuff. And
the fear stuff.
Yeah.
And then it's okay. And the more I did that over the weekend, the more I was comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
Because I knew it was safe. I knew there was a net here provided.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So what do you think, obviously we've sent you away with an action plan, both for, overcoming your own personal challenges, just in your own doubt, self-doubt, but also a plan of action for your business.
Yes.
So do you feel that was a worthwhile exercise in having that intense environment? I mean, you didn't come with a business plan,
No.
but a sense that you wanted to do something more than you were. Do you feel like the process of, you know, working on you and then looking and seeing what is it that I really want to do was a worthwhile one?
Absolutely. And I think not having a concept of what it would be,
Yep.
just knowing it would be what it would be.
Yep.
Whether, I don't know where I got that from. I think it's just from conversations that I've had with you where you've been comfortable to say, well, maybe business is not right.
Yep.
Whereas most of the processes that you go through, or the books you read, for example, so I knew that I had, that there was more.
Yes.
That I was not whole and that there's something missing.
Yep.
So you then self-diagnose.
Yes.
I thought, well, it's because I need to create a business. You have to start a business.
Yep.
And on one of our first conversations that we had with you, you called that. You said, well, maybe you're not an entrepreneur.
Yep.
And when you first said that to me, I was like, God damn it, yes I am. But no, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm an academic, or I'm a different type of entrepreneur than is conjured up when you think of that.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't
Or
have
when you
got
read the
that
books.
on my own.
Yes.
Because I would only have been reading and accessing information along the path that I thought I needed.
Yes.
So it's this one-on-one it's kind of, it's like going to your GP.
Yep.
Whereas I was seeing specialists.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. That's a good analogy.
Yeah.
Is there any one moment over the weekend where you just, it was like I asked you a question and you answered it and it was not you, but it was the light bulb, or
Yeah.
or something that's just changed?
There are a lot of little ahas. So the concept, I sort of knew what my dream was.
Mm-hmm.
I knew the big picture of what I want to be when I grow up.
Yep.
But there was a huge chasm between that.
Yep.
And I'd looked at some of the tools that we've since developed over the few days, and I'd look at them and I'd think, but they're not what I want to do, because I was always looking at that big picture.
Yep.
So that was the concept of a ladder and steps towards an ultimate journey.
Yes.
The ultimate goal has been helpful on lots and lots of levels.
Yep.
To break it down. But the real aha moment was when you asked me to define my why.
Mm-hmm.
I said, because I want to travel, and and it just felt so empty. And then in your probing, because I've done that exercise so many times. I've set goals, and I've kind of not stuck to them.
Yep.
Because I haven't known why they're important. So again, having that probing, but why? Yeah. I don't know, Rebel, just because.
The noisy 2-year-old. Why, mummy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not being able to say just because.
Yeah. And
move on. So the aha was that my why is because I want to be whole.
Yeah.
And that's what I want for others. It's kind of, I've used the analogy when we were talking the healed healer.
Yes.
I feel like my journey is to become whole, and in so doing, to help others to do the same. Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I've loved it. It's been great. I've learned so much too. I think I've borrowed from your learnings as well, in as much in my journey as you in yours. So thanks.
And I think that's part of it, actually, is that sense of how do I describe this? You have this great wisdom, but you're humble. So it's very safe to be around you. Whereas a lot of I've watched podcasts and webinars and what have you, and they play the expert. Yeah. And I feel silly.
Yes.
Where I haven't felt silly.
Yeah.
Once.
Yeah.
But I so it's that you meet your clients where they are,
Yeah.
and acknowledge that you have as much to learn as they have to give, and that it certainly makes me want to give more.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which you have, and I guess it's that it is that generosity of giving, isn't it? Of that learning is a giving process both ways. It's not necessarily just a one-way street where you're being given to or you are the giver. It's the beauty in that relationship is we both learn.
It's that wholeness.
It is.
You know, it's that wholeness of being vulnerable and exposing yourself, even though you're meant to be the expert.
Yes.
And in so doing,
Yep.
it's you are being. You're encouraging that journey to the next step.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's been awesome.